at some point, we're gonna just play it by ear between now and 8, hopefully we'd like to slip in, Katie Edson has been hired as our full-time reference librarian, just to come down and introduce herself.
Oh,
a little bit
great.
Too, but we'll just.
Oh, we'll make,
When we throw her into privilege of the floor or something like
You wanna come down now?
would that work or no?
Whatever works, she's upstairs working now,
She's
right?
up till, yeah, she's
Is she
a
planning
little
to come
working.
down when she gets free, is that her?
Yes.
okay, we'll fit her in.
We'll fit her in down
We're
behind the
okay
little-
with that, right?
We're flexible.
Yeah. Okay, then let's please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Privilege of the floor. We don't have anybody in attendance, so we'll move on. Does anybody have any changes to the minutes of the last meeting? Be okay. Anybody?
I don't think so.
No? You need a second to go through it, or?
I didn't see anything from
Yeah.
Norma's really good at that.
I didn't.
Yeah, where's Norma?
I know, we need
Norma.
Norma. She always
Norma
catches the
is-
mistakes.
Needs to email.
Okay, then, may I have a motion to accept the minutes for the March 10th meeting?
I'll make that.
Who was second? Bernie, all in favor? Aye. So, any opposed? Well, the treasurer's report check. Hello.
Hello, thank you, Keith. Welcome, everybody, thank you. We've got the reports here for March 31st, month 9, so we're 3/4 of the way through the year. Today, we actually received the last installment, the 10%. So I have a check for $122,000 that will deposit, because it was later in the day, tomorrow morning. So we're fully, funded for the rest of the year. And you can see as of March, we had 424,000, so now we'll have, 500 and something, or not really, there's been a payroll since then, but we're on track to make it through the year overall on budget. And for the month of March, the library charges were really good, they're a couple hundred more than they've been the last few months, so I don't know if the spring weather made people come out to pay their fines or not, but, so we're on track to probably hit our number for the full year, the 20,000, we should be pretty close on that revenue item.
Wow.
The salaries for the month were $41 over budget, so that's pretty much a direct hit. 52,188 to 52,147, and you see last month it was under by almost 800. So for the whole year now we're only $700 over budget out of almost 500,000. So like a fraction of a percentage. So the salary line has been and is remaining in line. I entered some Baker and Taylor through January, so this report has February and March, and then the year-to-date, so the books aren't showing up, but for the total library materials, it's saying 41,000 compared to 59 budget. I would just say realistically, assume that that's gonna be right on at the end of the year, so we're not gonna be 17,000 under there. I don't think anything else really stood out. We also got under other expenses, the commuter transit tax. You see a credit of $505. We got a refund check from prior year's MTA tax. I think it came from RCLS, right? Yeah, they did. Yeah, so we got our money back. That's why you see credit there. So that's working in our favor there too. Nice, $505. And then the bottom line, $968 total spending compared to $993, 25 under. And then if you add in the books, another 18, we're really running about 8,000 to 10,000 under budget. So we're almost like right in line. And that's including the hit we took with the retirement bill. So without that, we'd really doing well. So I think we're more or less staying on track. And April loan payment was made April 1st, April Fool's Day. And the balance is now $75,829.68.
Love it.
And that's a real number, not an April Fool number. So I think we only have 8 or 9 payments left.
Great.
So we're really keeping at it with that. And again, you know, we got the last check today, so now we're fully funded, so we're pretty much good to go.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions regarding Jack's report? May I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Motion made by Jim, seconded by Ella Mary. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So be it. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, thank you.
It's good to see you.
It's nice and easy.
Mhm.
I'm sticking around though, I think, yeah,
Yeah, for
Okay,
executive
cool.
session.
yeah.
Okay, for executive
Yep.
session? Okay. The director's report, Matt.
Good evening, everybody. The biggest news of the month was the vote and election, which you've all heard the news already. Congratulations again to Ellen Mary and Bernie.
Tough race.
Yeah.
3 more years to
You think it was-
onward and upward. The second line, I guess I would say, is we finally, we went through the certified list of eligibles from Orange County for librarian ones. There were 8 candidates. We conducted a number of interviews, and we decided to go with Katie Edson. Probably most of you have met her. I'll bring her down in a few minutes to meet her formally, but she is my suggested appointment in the role of full-time reference librarian. We've been vacant the full-time position since Casey left. And she's, you know, delightful with the public, great with electronics, books, books on, tablets and such. She's, I mean, I feel like a cave person at this point, but she's very good with that. She's probably the best person we have here upstairs for that kind of thing, keeping up with that kind of stuff. She also runs a number of programs. This year she's helping run the Big Read for Orange County. They're having the Big Read again. And she's done her stuff like the Yarn Gang and brought in folks from Cornell Cooperative Extension for gardening and various yarn arts. She did this whole thing that was pretty amazing actually, where she, actually Ellen Mary, you probably would like this, they of all things used Kool-Aid to color yarn. They made beautiful colors and it doesn't wash out. I mean, that was, I think you saw it, right? It's pretty amazing. Anyway, she's well-rounded, she's excellent with the public, and I'm happy to have her aboard full-time if you guys agree to it. We also moved Christine Marr into a sort of part-time position. We had a couple subs kind of that we were rotating for hours, but we have somebody that we've had for a while. She went to Warwick for a while, left Warwick, now she's back. She's another fantastic librarian. But she's just, will be our part-time, sort of steady part-timer. In other news, the Rotary pledged another $300 to help us out with our spring. This year the theme is it's a bingo game theme thing, similar to the Gnome. Same idea. Try to bring the businesses in, schools. Try to have it sort of community-wide. Kids go around with their bingo boards and have to find certain books. Actually, this year they chose the 100 best children's books from the New York Times. I guess they're using some. So it sounds like it's going to be fun, and I'm happy to say that the Rotary's helping out again.
Awesome.
I won't say too much about the vote because you have a full report from Carol there, and she'll talk a little bit about it in a few minutes. I will say she did a fine job as usual. I'm always amazed that it's a pretty onerous thing. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to it, and a lot has to be done in a timely way, and she always seems to do it without error. Technology. This is one of the things down on the list. A journal entry request. Heritage Quest, our friends decided to pay half of the cost of a year's subscription to the Heritage Quest database, which is the one that I dropped to some outcry. So I'm hoping if we can move $440 from miscellaneous to the reference database line to match their $440, we'll be able to resubscribe to and the benefits, by the way, if you don't remember last month, the Heritage Quest is remotely accessible. We have Ancestry in-house. There are a number of folks doing some genealogy from home that were unable to continue their work without being able to access Heritage Quest. I hope to find a freebie way to get it to them, and I looked in a couple places and gotta buy it. I thought maybe they could go through the New York Public Library or some other avenue, but down, let's see. Public computer usage was up again over February. February was probably down due to snow. I had Megan Brennan and Steve Rowell, the engineer for Paul Mays' architectural outfit here, just doing some measurements, checking out the building, going in the basement, going in the attic, looking around, just collecting data. While they were here, the engineer was slightly alarmed by the tree in the front. It has a, I don't know if you've noticed, the plane tree has a deep crevice in the trunk. Maybe it's 6 feet tall and goes in about 4 feet. And from an engineer's viewpoint, he was a little concerned about how sturdy it was. So I called Dan Barboni, who's done work for us before in the past, and he came and investigated. I also had him look at the oak tree back here that kind of has a weird tilt to it. In his opinion, both of them were actually fine. That you didn't have to worry about it, but he said, just to be on the safe side if you'd like, and I did call him back to do this work, he said he could put a cable, a steel cable, to hold that tree, from one part of that trunk to the other, that would hold it in the event of a windstorm or something. I mean, he didn't feel like it was necessary, but he said if it would, if we'd feel some peace having it just, having it there. So he's going to come by. He said it'd be about $100 to put it in.
Wouldn't damage the tree.
No,
wouldn't
no.
affect that.
No, that was the whole idea that he's
Alright.
we want to preserve those.
Since we're gonna have the band concert on the lawn again.
Yeah.
The band hits a crescendo in the tree.
It's funny to say that because he did say if this were an area where you had benches underneath or something, he said I'd be a little more concerned, but it's not a high traffic. But he said if you really want to just put your mind at rest, you can put this on, and that way you'll know that they're.
When is the
It's
band
well-
concert?
It's gonna be August 2nd.
So we have plenty of time if we're gonna put any little fence in front of the shrubbery.
Yes, we
or
thought. Who thought of
Well, we're gonna
that?
put
Yes, we have to
temporary
put something
fencing.
around
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
Don't run into this.
Yes.
The big sign.
Yeah, I just actually, we had to sign, I signed the contract today. We were hoping to use the, not the auditorium, the cafeteria, the school, middle school, but they are doing construction. And so we're back on the lawn, which some people love, but some, it's, depends on the weather.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it.
Actually, yes, talking about the Friends, we had, a Meet the Author with Eleanor, who just seems to be cranking out these Will Reese mysteries. People love them. Building and ground, that's about it. I have, what did I bring down here with me? Oh, Bernie's made the news, and they sent the FYI.
Oh, look at you, Brian.
You can take these with you. And, what else did I think I wanted to bring up some stuff? I think it was just a tree. I believe that's it, unless you have any questions. Carol can give you the business with the newsletter, I would say 95% of it got out on time. Unfortunately, people living out in New Hampton, a few people, I got a call from somebody saying they wanted to come to the library and vote, but they got it on the day of the vote. So we talked to ADS Mailing House in Newburgh, and they said they dropped it off in Newburgh the Tuesday prior. So they had a week and a day to get out, which is what we wanted. We wanted to hit maybe Thursday, Friday, right in there. I've come to now understand that all of 10924 happens almost immediately. It's outlying areas. It's sort of up to those, call them satellite or whatever, it's up to their discretion when they get it out. So obviously one of the smaller postal offices received their stuff from Newburgh but didn't get it out immediately. I'm not sure exactly. We're going to talk to, I guess the best thing to do probably is to alert the post office next year. This smaller, because if we back it up too much further, it's going to hit everybody too early. So this is a very small window, it's kind of a hard target. And
Has there been an issue with them before?
Yes.
There has, with that area.
I don't know if it was that area, but we've had complaints before. The thing is, once it gets to the post office, it's out of our control.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So.
We should make sure that, if it'll help at all, I don't know, that on the newsletter we put on it, please deliver by a date, because I see stuff come into our, some general circulation stuff come into our mailbox with that, and if Goshen's not a problem, I wouldn't know that it's helping anything, but at least it'd be something, maybe somebody at the post office would see it, and it would register that they would put it on their calendar to get out ahead of something else.
it was one post office that
All
didn't.
the complaints we
Yeah,
got
they
this
were
year were
from
from
Sam.
New Hampton.
So, we could,
So we,
mental note to give them
New
a call at the time.
'Cause one of the advantages of doing what you suggest is that the resident will look at this thing and see right there, please deliver by, and then call the post office rather than calling us.
You're right.
right, 'cause there's nothing, it's the
Yeah.
post office doing, not us.
It'll still follow back in the same process. When did Newburgh drop it off, et cetera.
Right.
Mhm.
And the other thing too is, you and I talked about possibly getting an email list together, so maybe
Right,
the people
right.
in Campbell Hall can receive it electronically. And,
Well, it's
you know,
already up on the website as soon as we approve it.
able to push it
I'm
out
not saying
to
that.
mail out email addresses as well.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's true too.
And that might
But-
be able to cut some printing costs. Although the less printing you do, the more it costs sometimes. So I don't know what kind of benefit that might be.
Right, I would have
But if we could go, 99% electronic,
Right.
it might be beneficial.
That's pretty bold.
Well, it was interesting because when I heard, I mean, I was surprised how early everyone had gotten it, because I was hoping it was gonna hit, as per discussions with Carol, maybe Thursday, Friday, and I was getting people coming in saying they got it Tuesday. I'm like, Tuesday? How'd they get out that fast, you know? And when so then to have these late stragglers, like a week later, saying they got it that day, I was, of course, now upon further investigation, so I see that's how it works. It's because 10924 just goes out in a blast, one time, and then these other, at least in Hampton, I don't know how many post offices are involved, Florida, whatever, we overlap several jurisdictions,
We
mailing.
do, yeah.
So, but yeah, that's, we'll have to tweak it. and get it.
There's 5 municipalities in the
I
school district,
received
right?
mine on the, which is on the Middletown post office, the Scotchtown
Mhm.
post office, and I received mine timely.
Mhm.
Yeah, we know when the the newsletter that goes out before this one, what the date is for voting, right? Or we don't? We don't know it by
Oh,
then.
No, cause that goes out in, early winter, and then this
Okay.
one is our next spring one.
And we usually don't know the spring date till
Okay.
later. But that's a good thinking, just to
Yeah.
get it done with.
Yeah, right, just for the vote.
Okay.
For those of you in areas that deliver mail late, we're sure our vote will be.
Maybe we'll have to just do
Yeah.
that route ourselves, Hamptonburg, whatever, New Hampton.
Yeah, what are the friends doing? What are the friends?
Okay.
If only we knew somebody like to walk, they could just drop things off at people's
Wait a
houses.
There, you heard me.
Where, any other questions for Matt, or any other?
Would you like to meet, can bring Katie down now? Okay.
Yeah, bring Katie down.
Let's give it to her.
While Matt's gone, I can answer any questions anyone might have on the vote. It's a good time to look at my reports. I mentioned the different, aspects that it takes to actually conduct the vote, the people who are involved with the vote. But I think the most interesting portion of this particular vote this year was, while our voter number was down, our approval rating was up. We have never seen an 85% approval rating, on any of the votes that we've had. And I've been doing it since 2007, I believe. So it's more than 5 years. But
And that
I
doesn't
thought that
include
was
my vote.
fantastic.
I got
Bernie
stuck at the
and-
hospital that night, I couldn't get
See,
back.
we would have gotten even better if you.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been a point
Oh, I'll come
higher.
clean too, I didn't vote either.
Oh,
And-
it's a good thing that we didn't lose by
Thank
one
God.
or two votes. It's a good thing we didn't lose.
Surmise.
I knew it was all in good hands.
We lost by one
You don't
vote.
know how I voted.
It might be a good thing that you didn't have.
And Ellen Mary
Expand
and
the size
Bernie
of the
both
board.
had in 85% approval, which was great, and
It's
was
funny, we run
fantastic.
unopposed.
And I got very little
85, wait, what?
complaints this year.
15% just
Nothing
one,
that I
what,
could
nobody?
mention
I don't
other
know.
than a little faux pas with the newsletter.
Excellent.
Enough said.
Well, the
We'd
post
like
office
to
faux
tweak
pas
it.
the newsletter.
Oh,
They faux pas. It's a
delivery.
new word.
right.
What's that?
So this is Katie Edson, she's been with us for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, two and a half years.
as a part-time librarian, as I mentioned earlier, that you were our sort of liaison for the Big Read this year, and that you have a number of programs that you've spearheaded and kept going. I think the Yarn Gang has been going for.
The Yarn Gang's been going since the whole time, since I've been here. So we've had 2 iterations of it, but we have a really great new group of people that come now. And we've got a really great summer gardening series that we did last summer, and we're doing it. It was so popular, everybody asked to have it come back again. So I've got a whole lineup already set up. We already had one master gardener come in this month, and then we'll have one every month through September, I believe.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I sort of stumbled through my attempt to explain how good you were with the e-books and the things that I don't know anything about. So she's kind of a go-to person for that stuff.
I am the spearheaded the ebook and or the e-reader and the audiobooks that our CLS has, said, here we've got this really great product, but then they don't actually put out any helpful information for the patrons. And so then it's up to the librarians to learn, this new technology and then teach it to the patrons. And so we've had a lot of really great response. Lately, I think it just keeps building and building. People keep realizing that the technology is out there, and they want to know how they can get books onto their devices or even audiobooks. And we've got one class this month, and we've got another class next month that we're doing. But then people just come in practically every day now. I think I get about one question a day. People wanting to know, hey, I didn't know I could do this, and how to go about it. And it's not easy, not like any new technology is fabulous, but I think it's a really great resource for people, and it's a way to keep people in the library instead of they're in a way they're checking out our items, and not going straight to Amazon. So it's a new fun thing. Anybody that wants to learn, stop on by. I'm happy to spread the information. But
and not to embarrass you, but lastly I said she's also delightful with the public, which is very important. I mean, she's a very good, approachable person, very good with people. I had lots of people coming to me saying, I love Katie. So we're very happy to have you aboard.
I really like our patrons that come in. I think I just had one the other day. She came up to me because I had seen when I was ordering, I was like, oh, Barbara is going to love this book. And I know that some other people would too, but I ordered it and I put a hold on it for her. And when it came in, and then she came up to me and she said, are you responsible for getting me, this book? And I said, she said, I loved it. So, that just really makes my day when I'm able to connect with folks in our community and make them love to come back and know that we have the items that they want.
That's great.
Well, she's going to get back up and close.
Get back.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
She's also a rock climber and a marathon runner.
Multi-talented, yes. I suppose I'm a short little bit. I'm a military spouse. My husband's a professor at West Point.
Oh, really?
This is our second time here in New York, and he's eventually going to retire in about 2.5 years or so. We don't know what's going to happen at that point, but we've lived everywhere from Korea to Europe to the desert of California, the Midwest, the East Coast. We've kind of done it all. So I think it just adds a little bit more, have a little bit of knowledge. It helps me when I'm ordering, books for the travel section. I can weed them and go, oh God, that's an ancient book. What are we doing with that old book on Germany? There's much better, interesting stuff that's happened since, whenever. So, but yeah, and I have 3 boys. One's going to be in college next year in San Diego. One's a gymnast at Kennett's. And so I'm invested here in the community, even though I didn't, like it all kind of happened at the same time. I got hired by Eleanor and my son got accepted onto the team, and now I spend a good chunk of my time here in Goshen, not only working here, but then just as somebody who now knows all the restaurants and the harness racing museum and anything, you know, and then I've got a younger one who's going to be in middle school, so everybody pretty active. Anyway, nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Did anyone have any questions about the vote?
So how many absentee ballots did we get back?
30-something.
33.
I think 33.
We mailed out 285.
Approximately 300, about 285 on the official list.
Oh, right.
And then we
there were a
sent
few
some out,
others.
I think I had 2 requests this year, and then we do send them out to the folks that normally receive our homebound. When we take books to them, we
Right.
send them one, just as a courtesy. We know they're not unable to come into the library to get books, so we extend that courtesy to them. The percentage was, normal for them coming back, to us with the, at first I thought it was a little bit high this year, but after I researched the numbers, it's just kind of normal for us to receive that many. But they do all have to go out, even though it's expensive and we get such a small return,
Yeah,
they still, legally, they must go out.
Absentee ballot?
Yeah.
All right.
Huh? I didn't.
Very good.
They,
Thank you very
they have to be received
Thank
by
you,
five.
Carol.
They have to be received by 5 p.m. the
Good
day
night.
of the
Yes,
vote.
on the day of the vote, yes. That's, it's part of our legal notice that they must be, and I think it had something to do originally with the office hours. And that was how it was posted, that 5 o'clock on the day of the vote. And then from there, after that time, they're handed over to the election officials, and they go through them, verifying that they are indeed done properly.
This is in case the vote isn't actually here at the library. They need to be received
By me, and
here at the library at 5 p.m. In
Yes.
case the vote is otherwise, I'm just thinking if they were here, they could just flip a lever and pull the.
yes,
No, they can
except
mail it,
if you were bringing one in for
They
your
have to be
wife who
received,
has a
okay.
broken leg,
Right.
you would
So as long as it's
travel it
received through the
in,
mail.
hand it in for someone else.
For somebody else that day. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's the 5 o'clock, so that anyone bringing someone else's in.
Okay.
Thank you, Carol.
You're very welcome.
Do we have any other committee reports tonight?
No, I mentioned just that we should follow up on getting the sewer line replaced at some
Yes,
point soon.
yes.
Have this warming up. Yeah.
I
So.
would, definitely.
Yeah, so.
No need to discuss now. Okay. Then, we have new library initiative under unfinished business. I don't know if there's what.
I'm sorry, I do have one more thing to
Backtrack.
mention, that we could look into, coming into the library this week, I found a old banana peel on the right side of the door as you're walking into the
Mhm.
library. So maybe we should look into getting some type of trash bin on the right
Okay.
side to balance the book depot on the left side, but, cause people are throwing stuff there and throwing little bits on the lawn, maybe if
Yeah, I
they
was
saw
picking
something on
up
the way
today,
in. So,
Yeah, we saw some stuff and it's blown over.
yeah.
Okay.
So. Just a
Banana
thought.
peel of all things.
Yeah, it had been there. It had been there
Come
some
on,
time.
man.
It seems.
There should have
so,
compost.
yeah, so.
Or at least people are eating fruit. That's
That'd be healthy patrons.
eating
Good.
healthy.
Yeah.
Do we have anything to discuss regarding the new library initiative? Is there?
I did mention, that Megan and Stephen were here,
Yeah.
and they're working on their reports. Bernie noticed, that their invoices were, written up in terms of percentage, and so he thought it'd be smart to have them actually give us kind of a bulleted list of what, so I talked to them, I talked to Megan and Stephen, and she took notes and said, sure, we can do that, and I'll make sure that you have some more backup, in other words.
Yeah,
And I said, just so we can, if someone asks, well, what are they actually doing for the X amount of dollars? Well,
Yeah.
here's your list, so it's
Right.
smart of,
It's a good idea.
I mean, they were giving precise like
Yeah, 12%.
11% or 12%. It's like, oh, all right, as a fraction, that's 1/9 of the work or something, or, you know,
Yeah.
clearly they have something referring to that they come up with an exact number, so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, just so that later
So they
on,
could
when
let us in
inevitably
on what
people
it
will
was.
ask to see what they had done.
Right.
Then let's move on to new business and the journal entry request for Heritage Quest renewal.
Which would be moving $440 from the miscellaneous line to the reference database line,
Alright,
because I believe that reference database line is
flat.
Is
So
there-
we're
this would
getting
be
a
the
gift from the
friends for half of it for
and you
$440.
want us to move 440 from another portion of the.
Right, because we hadn't allocated it
To
enough
anything
for
particular.
that, right, so this
Okay.
is unallocated miscellaneous that we can move to databases.
Okay.
So need for a motion for something like that, or?
Yeah, what do we have?
Yeah,
We
get
have
that
the
one.
journal
And
entry thing.
we're moving it to,
From-
I mean, we're moving it
From
from,
miscellaneous
Miscellaneous to
Miscellaneous.
to
database.
database,
okay,
that's $440.
okay. Can I have a motion to move $440 from miscellaneous to the database section of our budget? You have what, is that
I
a?
will make the motion.
You will make that motion. Ellen Mary made the motion. Who will second that motion?
I will second the motion.
Ryan will second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Great.
So be it.
Okay, I'll put it on
Alright.
my, tomorrow,
Motion.
that will never be written.
Okay, I'm interested in hearing about the Silesian parking request.
Okay, I've had 2 requests so far for summer parking. The one is for 25 cars for an event in July. The other one is from Rob Dickover, who's the Rotary man that runs the Hamiltonian that just started. Here's his problem. I mean, this is a big thing to run a marathon. I'm in awe about how this guy does
He's
this.
running the
He's doing it, yeah,
Wow.
he's gonna. So apparently he had it set up so that people would park at the county center.
Mhm.
But then he found out, I mean, he's doing this well in advance because this race happens in the fall. He found out
Yeah.
that the county center will not be available. So his next thought was, he would like to use, you know, that like we do for the Shakespeare, the area we use for the Shakespeare. There's no great parking area, but he would have parking attendants in place to make sure that, you know, to park people. And he's already even sent me an insurance certificate, so, you know, he knows
Okay,
what
'cause
he's
that was my
yeah,
concern,
right.
really.
Can I ask, what, you know, I know we have a good deal of the property there. Is that little lot in the back, close to the lake, or
I know what you're
pond,
talking about.
is that our property?
You know, interesting. You should. I
No.
brought the map to show him, so he knows exactly where he needs to be, and it was pretty much whatever the word is. It was pretty much within the bounds of our property. But yeah, it gets a little strange. I was thinking about this. I mean, because there are these overlapping owners to this stuff: the village, the town, and we have, and nobody knows exactly
Right.
where you know. But we do know that we at least own along that
Yeah.
cul- egress. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's on the drive, and it's
That's
parked,
the point of view.
people are gonna park on the grass on either side, say, of the drive?
I think that's what they're thinking.
Okay.
Because he did say he'd have attendants to make sure that everything is done orderly, so they can get as many, many cars in there. And he said, of course, it's not going to be done if it's too wet, because
Then you'll never get the cars out.
Right. So he said his third plan, which he really does not want to have to do, and it's funny because I just had a conversation with Katie about this. I guess this happens at a lot of marathons. She didn't use the word busing; she used something else. But he would have to have them sent down from the school, driven down to the race start with school buses or vans or something.
Mhm.
And that would just add a huge
Oh, wow.
amount of
TJ
logistical.
Hooker, what school?
Well,
He-
the high school.
I'm not sure.
High
High
school
school,
has a
maybe?
pickup lot.
Okay.
Well, there probably could be both, even, depending on how
Well,
big a turnout he gets.
I mean, I don't know if we have to make a motion or just vote or whatever, but I mean, personally, I don't have any issue with this to help out, and I'm sure he's working with Joint Rec on the other areas,
Yes,
such
yeah.
as behind the old
And he's
school
got
there.
insurance coverage.
And I would say even with this second request, it's not as big a request. But I mean, my personal opinion is, you know, we want to be, you know, as accommodating as possible, as long as they have the insurance and you know, well, I'll double check with our insurance company that we talked to them already today, and they said that's how you do it. Just make sure you're named as additional insured
Additional
or whatever.
insured,
You know,
right, yeah.
that you know you're covered under your umbrella policy, and then they're covered by their by their certificate. So I think that should be really the litmus test is, as long as they're willing to go ahead and get that insurance. If they can't get insurance,
No,
probably
yeah,
not wise
if
for
they
us
don't
to,
take it,
as much as we'd like to sort of say, go ahead and park. We don't, because there's gonna be trouble getting in and out of there. You know what it's like. He's aware of that totally. He said he's gonna have, some with whatever signs and get, managing the traffic flow and such. And I just, as long as, that's just my opinion. As long as they have insurance and they're covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say also, like you mentioned, as long as they're also working with Joint Rec, that they can use the back lot, because I don't
Right.
wouldn't want them limited to hours, because whoever's working the parking may start to overflow into the Joint Rec area.
But ours isn't, we really don't have anything.
We don't, yeah. They're kinda
the
just off
back
the
lot
gravel
isn't
onto
ours
our
on
Yeah.
the left,
Yeah,
nor
right,
on the
right.
right
There's
by
like
the
a little
school.
There's
and-
that little thing that
There's
goes
like that
around
little
a
kind of road.
crescent.
Yeah.
Thinking up to the left, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking too. I'm not
Yeah,
sure whether
so-
that's on our property or not.
I don't know.
It's near the
That's
top.
not
But it's also
no, I'm
blocked
thinking
off a
of
lot,
that.
isn't it? The where you're,
I don't know.
Well, it goes up, then there's another road that goes this way,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And you
what
go a
I'm
little
thinking of.
further, and there's the pond out here, and there's sort of a little,
Yeah, and there's
Yeah,
loop.
no,
yeah,
that
25
goes off
spaces
this
or
way is
so.
ours, too.
I think so, yeah.
Where
The
you
road
park
coming
for-
in is ours.
Right,
That road
and that
thing going
curve,
is ours.
right,
We own another piece of it beyond that
Okay.
little road, and then the rest of it belongs to Joint.
Okay.
Or Village, whatever. But we own from the fence to that road and then a little past that
Okay.
road, and on either side of the driveway.
that
But-
sounds right.
yeah,
We
that-
went there and walked it once, but I don't remember, it's
Yeah,
been a long
I
time.
did too a couple of years ago.
yeah, I think that little road to the right
That's
leads to
ours.
the school, though, right?
Right, I don't know if it actually
Yeah,
is.
there's a lot of-
It might be all overgrown,
But a lot of times there's a sawhorse up. So-
right, maybe that's what I'm
Ah,
thinking of,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So if they need to push that sawhorse back
Mhm.
and use more of it, that's fine
Yeah.
too, as far as I'm concerned, so long as,
Right.
But flat tires are on them.
that's right.
Carol, you
Parking
had something
around.
to say?
Then, I was wondering, if this is during the marathon, October,
Mm-hmm, or,
the marathon
let me
is
see, I
gonna
have,
be- I just, for my notes, I wanted to.
yes,
they-
October, plan for parking on October 19th, 2014.
Thank you.
We will develop a
I
parking
didn't
plan
catch
for
the
use
date
in
on
those
the
areas.
July event. You said something about a July event?
That's, for a party, 25 cars in June.
For what?
It says wants, permission to use Salesian parking lot for parking of about 25 cars for an event she is having in June.
But the parking lot
Don't
isn't
you
ours.
realize, yeah,
The parking lot's not ours.
Parking lot, where is
Well,
it?
if she's asking to use
Well,
that
this is actually
gravel
Jack, is
parking
this
lot.
your writing? You took the
Yeah,
message,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'll call her tomorrow and just
Yeah, because that's not
get a
ours,
clear
that's
idea
the
of what
Joint
she,
Rec.
okay.
yeah.
And yeah, the lot, you're talking about the gravel lot at the end of the,
I'm not
That's
sure,
what you're
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'll have
find
to
out
check,
because
you know.
Where the
That's not
parking
ours.
takes place for Shakespeare,
Yeah,
that
right.
one? That's not.
I don't know if
That's
that's
not
the
our
one, but,
property.
Yeah.
but that's not ours, right?
No,
That is
that's
not
not
ours.
ours.
The one
That's
closer,
not
yeah,
ours.
the parking area close to the
We
pond.
don't have any
is not ours.
parking there.
yeah, no,
We got a
that's not ours.
field.
Rob
We
got
have
to
a
see the
field.
map, had brought it to the Rotary
Field,
meeting, so he
trees,
knows what
gravel.
our bounds are, but yeah, this woman called, I just,
Poison ivy.
Yeah, as long as they're not driving on the field either, because
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Joint
on the
Rec-
grass,
Yeah,
right.
Con-
Pull
focuses
off
on-
onto
I don't know
it,
where they're
but-
coming at us, but whatever. We're okay if they want to.
it says future library, yeah, so.
Oh, yeah,
We're the
right.
first.
it's strange, no, in all these years,
That's right,
nobody's
the
come and
sign's
asked
still
me. I'm
there.
wondering if people have just done it without thinking, or it's just suddenly I just got 2 requests in the space of a day,
though.
day or 2.
I mean,
It's
it's a
our
park.
property.
It's a park.
Not our property.
No,
Well, yeah,
I mean,
The
the
parking lot,
Silesian
yeah.
area is,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
parking lot, I don't know.
but the,
Yeah,
It's a
probably
park,
open to
it's-
the public during the day, so
Yeah.
they can
Yeah,
park their
it's
cars
just
on
the-
that
the-
lot.
the
Yeah.
times when it's, you
Mhm.
can't, not supposed to be there,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
People that see our sign out front, they think, I guess that whole section is ours.
Yeah.
yeah, that must be.
Yeah, but if they're hosting a party in the park, I think they probably have
Difference.
to contact Joint Rec to do that at all.
Mhm.
And then the parking would be open to them
It's like,
anyway.
what do they have to reserve?
Yeah.
It's open space, I don't know if they,
There's
you
trees
know,
and
they
all.
schedule things for the fields, such as little sports events and all that,
Mhm.
but,
Yeah.
or, you know, Shakespeare in the Park, as
There
we
you go.
do.
Well, if it happens to be on the same day as the Halloween party or something like that. I mean, not the
Turkey trot or whatever they
June
have.
thing. Yeah, any,
Right?
they've got something going
That's
on.
a race or
Yeah.
something, isn't
Chicken
it?
trot.
We do.
Okay, so,
So we
We're good, yeah.
she's probably
I'll
not
get
our
back to it.
problem.
new
Oh,
flag.
that's just,
That was her?
yeah, there's, actually, just to be sure, we have another sub, I can't remember, but it can't hurt to double appoint. Stephen Kohler is the third, so we have, Katie Edson,
Okay.
Christine Marr, that's the part-time person,
All right, and Stephen.
and Stephen Kohler,
That you moved.
yeah. who's really a sub, but we should have him officially. So remember, the director selects and the board appoints, so this is
Okay.
where you officially appoint these 3 people as employees of Goshen Public Library.
And that requires a motion,
Yes.
and we don't have to have titles or just appoint to,
I mean, you can, yeah, I think just appoint is fine, just their names, that they're.
They're all library one.
This is, if you wanna put, you could put library,
you
these
should-
2 are library 1,
I think you should designate the Katie as a full-time
Actually,
position.
okay,
Full-time.
full-time.
Yeah. And the other 2 are part-time.
and this is part-time, yeah,
Yeah.
part-time, and this is, you could say part-time or sub.
Reference desk.
okay, so, is it a motion for each, or?
I think you can take a list of appointees and do it in one motion.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay,
right.
here
Sweet.
goes then. Can I have a motion to
Point.
appoint Katie
Edson.
Edson, your handwriting, as a full-time librarian, Christine Maher as part-time, and Stephen Kohler as
Part-time.
Yes,
part-time as well. Who will make that motion?
I'll make it.
Wait,
Jim made the who will second the motion? I saw
I'll say.
Alan, Mary's
Yeah.
finger went up. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
So be it. Has been
Thank
passed.
you.
No, thank you.
And they're all official.
Okay, is there anything else? Other?
That's it, except for the executive session when you're.
Okay.
I have a few things, a couple of things. I went to the Rambo Catskill, one of the workshops they had earlier this week, which was very informative. There is another one on April 24th. Brought some flyers in case anybody wants to look at it.
No, Bernie, sorry, but I would have met you there. I didn't know you were going to that. That was the trustee fiduciary responsibility or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
it
trustee
looked good.
fiduciary
I like that.
responsibility, accountability. And I had a list of notes, and I didn't get a chance to summarize them. I'll put them together though for next time, but and we can talk about it or just talk about the summary. But a lot of stuff. The short of it is we're in good shape actually. A lot of the stuff that they went over, that a lot of the libraries, there was probably 50 or so people there, directors and trustees from different libraries across the RCLS, and a lot of the people were like, really? We need to do that too?
It's
Really?
scary sometimes.
A lot of it we were already doing, so we're in good shape. We got great bylaws and policies. There are some improvements. Not all these are notes, but yeah, there's some good ideas and some that we talked about in the past. But like I said, I'll just draw up some type of format, either a letter or a list, and then we can go over it next meeting. So just wanted to mention that. And then yeah, the thing for the 24th,
I
if
saw
anybody
that
wants to
too.
go to that.
I'll go there. I'll go if you're interested.
Sure. Alright.
Anything else?
When do we do the nominations for the officers for next
July?
Yeah, that's for the July meeting, we have the vote.
July?
We did the nominations in
June and
June.
Yes.
And July is the first official meeting of
Right.
the new fiscal year, so that's when we vote who the
It's
officers are, right?
Term
Or do we do it?
reorganization.
I thought it might have
So-
been
Yeah, the reorganization
earlier.
Is July.
Yeah.
We make
I
preparations
thought it
for
was,
that in
a
June.
month after the vote.
Hmm.
But, so
We
Well,
double checked, right?
I
on
did
those?
double
think
check
she-
that because our vote this time was before this April meeting instead of after
okay.
That's why
the
it's
meeting.
Alright.
It seems as though we're behind, but we're actually ahead.
So
And we would be discussing maybe some nomination suggestions in our May meeting and maybe present,
okay.
have a nominating committee make a presentation, and then people would be sworn in July.
Okay.
So we would have the vote then
So-
in June,
Yes,
right, so
we would
we would need a nominating committee
in May.
in May.
in May,
Okay.
and then.
But does the nominating committee nominate 30 days in advance of the vote, or does it?
I don't,
When does
it's
it come up with its slate?
for the June meeting, and then we have the
Yeah.
vote at the June
So,
meeting.
so it can be presented at the June meeting.
Yes, and we
Mm,
vote
okay.
at the June meeting, and it goes into effect in
So
July.
there's no time period for waiting there. Okay.
Okay. So we'll just have that on.
There's actually only one vote, the slate is presented and the secretary makes a vote.
Well, that's it, there's no nominations from the
From
floor.
the floor,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
God,
If it's not
time
contested.
has flown by.
Mhm.
So that'll be on our May agenda,
Yeah.
and that is part of proposed agenda items for next month's meeting.
Look at
That's
that,
fitting
lined
well.
right up.
And we have nobody here for privilege of the floor, so let's see. We have to go into executive session, and that means
I'll
we'll
make
just,
a motion to go into executive session.
you will make that motion.
I will make that motion.
And who will second the motion to go into executive session?
Bernie.
Bernie.
Thrilled about that, right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we're
That-
offline right now.
That has to be turned